What is the greatest conspiracy of all time? It seems that no matter where you look nowadays, you're going to find people talking about conspiracies. They've become a part of pop culture, and the interest in them is growing rapidly. So do you want to know what the greatest conspiracy is? Well, buckle up. Even though the mainstream media would seem to want us to think that these conspiracies are all a bunch of nonsense, the seeking person is quickly able to validate some of these crazy theories with a little research. This, in fact, is actually one of the odd things about the subject of conspiracy theories. Some of these crazy theories are surprisingly easy to validate. With careful plotting and planning, why do these conspirators always seem to develop butterfingers along the way? At some point they become, well, very incompetent. Oh, we forgot that no plane flew into that building, but it still fell down. Oops. Oh, we're going to say that someone was killed from a shot in the back of the head, even though witness testimony, physics, and this video shows that there was a shot from the front. Why, oh why, do we do this in public? Couldn't we have just poisoned them behind closed doors? Oh, it's clear that people know some of these media events are being faked with a green screen, and the government clearly isn't calling them out. Well, I guess we should have planned this out a little better as well. Are people behind the scenes really this incompetent when it comes to these conspiracies? Or is there something else going on here? A good summary of a lot of these dark global events was the 2012 movie, The Conspiracy. In that movie, they go through a number of conspiracies that, unfortunately, can be validated as being true. A similar online movie called Zeitgeist does the exact same thing. Here you find many of these disturbing truths brought to light. What's interesting, though, is that in certain segments of these movies, they both also mention a religious conspiracy. They each make the claim that Jesus was based on the gods of past pagan religions. In the 2012 movie The Conspiracy, they claim Jesus was based on the god Mithras, which is something claimed in the Zeitgeist movie as well. Zeitgeist in fact cites a number of other additional gods as inspirations for Jesus. Those mentioned besides Mithras are gods such as Horus and Attis. You'll find similar claims made in the Bill Maher movie Religulous. Now, like I stated before, with the other conspiracy theories, you can actually find a lot of credibility in what is being said if you do your own self-study. So, if this religious claim is just as compelling, then a little self-study should bring the same results as the others do, especially if they felt it necessary to include this religious subject in their work. So, let's break down these claims about Jesus and these other gods. First off, a big part of the claim of the Zeitgeist movie is the date of December 25th. This runs throughout the presentation and really serves as a foundational point. The problem is as follows. Jesus was not born on December 25th. I've stated this in both of my past videos about the Christmas holiday. If you take a look at the Bible story, it's very clear that you do not take a very pregnant woman on a long journey across the desert in the middle of winter. Also, the shepherds who were keeping watch over their flocks by night wouldn't have been out on a winter night either. Given this information, people speculate that Jesus was either born sometime in September or sometime between March and April. I hold to the spring date, as this would be the time that lambs are born, which would explain why the shepherds were keeping watch by night. Jesus himself is referred to as the Lamb, so this would fit perfectly. The fact is, though, that no clear date of birth is given for Jesus, and nothing really leads us to believe that was December 25th. So this fact kind of destroys the Zeitgeist case from the start. By the way, I dare you to try to find some December 25th birthdays for the other gods they mentioned. I didn't really have much luck finding any clear birth dates for most of them either. So what does this say about their research? Next, let's take a look at a couple of the gods they mentioned that are supposed to be so similar to Jesus. The god Attis is given this description in the Zeitgeist movie. Seems pretty much like Jesus, right? Well, let's take a look at the actual story. Quote, Attis broke the covenant with a nymph, the daughter of the river god Sengarius, and was thrown by the goddess into a state of madness, in which he unmanned himself. When in consequence he wanted to put an end to his life, Cybele changed him into a fir tree. So Attis went mad, cut off his own genitals, and was changed into a tree. Really? This is the best you got? Come on, man. Do you recall these things being in the story of Jesus? I don't. Moving on. Now, the god Mithras is given this description by Zeitgeist, and is explained like this in the movie The Conspiracy.
Now, according to the myth, he was born on the 25th of December. He died and was resurrected 3 days later. Bear in mind, this was 2,000 years before the birth of Christ. Many scholars believe that this is the basis of Christianity.
So let's start at the beginning. They claim virgin birth. Nope. As the story goes, he was born out of a rock. Now, we can actually stop right there if we wanted to. No one in their right mind would seriously say that a rock is a virgin. As the makers of these movies are in their right mind, this can only mean that they are purposely trying to distort the facts when it comes to Jesus. Besides this very significant point, it's hard for historians to gather much from the Mithras cult, which seems to be very recent in history. If you want to find any mention of Mithras dying, let alone being resurrected, good luck. I can't really find much of anything. Now, I could go farther, but let's just stop here and I'll put some additional links in the description below that poke even more holes in the other gods mentioned. So what this means is that the writers, directors, and producers of these works can't possibly care about bringing the truth to the public. It's one thing to seemingly stretch a detail to try to reconcile it within a theory. It's an entirely different thing to force a square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't fit. It's just not true. So why do they spend their time and money exposing the truth behind a lot of these conspiracies when they don't actually care about the truth? If they don't care about what's really true, then what is their goal? The goal, my friends, is to deceive you. They are baiting you with a lot of truths and are just hoping that you will accept their deception about Jesus. Sadly, look at how well their deception is working. The reality is that the topic of these conspiracies is growing so rapidly within pop culture for the simple reason that the powers that be behind these government conspiracies want you to believe that everything is a conspiracy. They want to shatter your trust so that you won't truly believe in anything, especially Jesus. Look at the facts. Between these claims and the claims of other religions, they want you to believe that Jesus is either a lower prophet, a lower god, an extraterrestrial, or nothing at all. The extraterrestrial claim is an interesting one, and I talked about this in my video about the alien deception. But did you know that some people think the aliens are going to come and save the planet from the conspiracies? Yes, alien groups like those from Pleiades are going to come and be our otherworldly saviors. Subjects like this are openly talked about in the New Age realm, and I've personally talked with someone who channels these supposed alien beings. In conversation, they revealed to me that the aliens revealed to them all these conspiracies about the governments, talked about how the aliens are going to come and save us, and oh, by the way, the aliens also wanted to let us know that the New Testament of Jesus is bogus. Odd little addition to our conversation. Now, this propaganda doesn't just occur in the New Age realm, or in random conversation, as it seems you can also find it hidden in your cereal box. It seems DC Comics are now placing little comic books in kids' cereals, and someone happened to give me one entitled Alien Justice. Let's read a little excerpt. People of Earth, we have come to judge you for your crimes. That's interesting. Aliens coming to judge the world for something. Isn't that what we were just talking about? How about this? We might not share the same concepts of right and wrong, but we do share the same universe, the same physics. Science is the same wherever you go. Picking up on the propaganda yet? So they are again inserting another small subliminal lie. Instead of it being about Jesus, this time they are telling kids that right and wrong can change depending on your location. This won't confuse kids at all, will it? Oh, but it will. And then I guess we will need the aliens to help us figure things out. When the head alien comes back, maybe he'll come back before as he has in the past, as Quetzalcoatl or Kukulkan, described by the Mayans and the Aztecs as the flying serpent. I don't doubt that the world will eventually see him come back in his true form, the great dragon, the serpent, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. Have you ever considered the possibility that the people doing the conspiring want you to know about the deceptions I mentioned in the beginning of the video? That they want you to know about the corruption? Ever considered that this is all a setup? Perhaps the stage is being set for someone to finally come along and seemingly expose all these dark government officials, seem to make everything right, seem to be just what the world thinks it needs. And buried deep within the waves of fanfare, a greater deception will be lurking. because the world won't even realize that now it's singing its praises to the Antichrist. You are being deceived, my friends. What's the point of spending all your time exposing the government when the end always results in your death, either by malevolent outside forces or natural causes? You do know that you're going to die someday, right? Or are you too busy with conspiracies or everything else in life to think about that? Ever think about what your true purpose is in life? Ever consider that purpose is something given upon creation? When you ignore this, it's easy to enter the satanic game. If he can consume you in hate over these government conspiracies, then he has won. If he can distract you from your life and your mortality, then he has won. If he can make you believe that everything is a lie, a deception, and a conspiracy in order to ultimately pull Jesus into that realm for you, then he has won. He will have succeeded in making you waste the life that you were given by God. But here's the thing, if there are lies, then that means that something has to be the truth. You can't have a lie without the truth existing first. And ultimately, truth is something that cannot be changed, no matter what people try to say about it. Truth cannot be changed because ultimate truth is God. And when you take Jesus at his word, you find out that the truth is Jesus. And he doesn't change. And he isn't based upon anyone from the past, because he is the beginning and the end. So now that I've pointed out that you're being lied to when it comes to Jesus, I suggest that you give him another chance. If you reach out to him as he truly is, then you're finally going to find something that is true. You're going to find that the way the truth means life, and that we need to listen when the truth speaks.